Across the entire spectrum of the watch community, from collectors to grey dealers, from investors to enthusiasts, there is one thing in common that we all seem to have our own opinion on, and that concerns where secondary market prices lie for Rolex watches. But more specifically, following 18 months of market volatility, we've all got our own idea on where they may end up. Every YouTube video exploring the Rolex brand has a comment section dominated by fortune tellers with their crystal balls, apocalyptic soothsayers foretelling of an impending Armageddon where we will see grey market values fall for all hype Rolex below the retail, and those more frequent conservative estimates believing that the correction will cease once prices fall to that of the days of pre-hype. I think it is time that we assess where grey values lied in relation to their retail prices pre the hype days and compare with the landscape as it stands today. Are we already there, or will prices fall further? So let's answer the question: Rolex secondary market values, how low will they go? I'm Vinny, welcome back. Please do subscribe down below if you haven't done as yet. Now, there is a growing general consensus in the comment section of many YouTube videos that explore the Rolex brand and the secondary market that prices will fall to the levels that they were pre the hype days. Now, I remember when I first made these videos 18 months ago when the market correction began and we started to witness prices going the other way for the first time really for many years. My prediction was that prices would actually correct themselves, so that whole hype bubble that occurred in 2021 and 2022, prices would return really to 2020 levels. Now already we have seen that they've fallen further below those levels, and of course now the question, which is quite alarming and people need to know with the values of their own collection, where is it going to end? Now what I wanted to do was look at this objectively and have a look at the actual figures. A Submariner is never going to be worth £6,000 again, fresh out of the authorised dealer 2023, because we have this aspect of inflation. What's important is we actually look at the retail prices versus the secondary market values and that percentage difference. What was that percentage difference for the top 10 most sought after models back in 2017 versus that percentage difference for those watches on the present day? So let's get into it then, and I don't think there's any better place to start than with the Submariner date. The retail price in 17 was $6,250 in the UK. Grey market was actually around the same, so there was no premium and no percentage premium at all back then. Compare that with the present day. UK retail price is £8,650, and on the grey market you could pick up a brand new condition 2023 for around £12,000. So of course that is above the retail and is now a 38.7% premium. Next up is the Submariner date. In this case, I'm looking at the Hulk for 2017. Of course, that was discontinued a few years ago. I'm really comparing that with the Submariner Starbucks. The UK retail price for the Hulk in 17 was $6,600. Grey market, it sat above retail at £7,000. That meant a premium of just over 6% on the secondary market. Today, a Starbucks would cost you £9,100 and the UK grey market sits at £13,000. So that is a premium of 42.8%, sitting quite considerably above the 6% premium that it lied at in 2017. Next up, let's have a look at the Datejust 41. This particular reference is probably the most popular one, with a blue dial, fluted bezel and on a Jubilee bracelet. Retail in 17 was $6,950. Grey market actually sat below the retail, so that was a £6,000 watch there, which meant a negative premium of 13.6%. Fast forward to the present day, the retail price sits at $8,650 and the grey market is a £9,500 watch, which is above the retail, but not that far above retail really. Trade value dealers would actually be paying you around about the same as the retail, and that means I think guys given time it probably will fall further. Now onto the juicy stuff, the Daytonas. Of course, as I said, back in 1617, the Daytona Panda was really one of the first big hype watches to sit at a massive premium above the retail. So how far above the retail did they sit in 17? Well, the UK retail price then was 9,100 and the secondary market price was 14,000, so that was a 53% premium. Present day, that value at retail has gone up quite considerably. It's a £12,700 watch now. UK grey market value is still at £23,500, which is above the retail by 85%. So you could suggest that potentially there is quite a long way for that to fall. Similarly for the Daytona with the black dial, of course the retail price is the same, but the grey market in 17 stood at 13,000. Present day, let's have a look at that. We've got the retail price is 12,700, grey market is at £22,000, well above the retail at 73% premium. Once again, this is potentially another watch which still has quite some way to fall. The John Mayer back in 17, it wasn't even called the John Mayer because I think the Hodinkee video actually came out in 2019, so this was just a normal ordinary watch that nobody ever really took any notice of until that Hodinkee video really sparked the hype and kicked all of the madness off with this watch where prices have gone up and down, up and down. Back in 17, the retail price was 25,550, grey market sat well below at just £22,000 for that piece, guys. UK retail price the present day, or really a couple of months ago before it was discontinued, was £33,300, and the grey market sits today at £57,000. So it's fallen quite away from its peak of 90k, but still sits above the retail price by quite a considerable premium there of 71%. The Day Olive, moving on to another massive hype watch over the last couple of years in 40mm size. In 2017, this was a £25,550 watch. Grey market was at 21,000, so that was below the retail. Present day retail on this is 35,000. A grey market value actually now sits at only 38,000. I have seen some 2023 pieces actually slightly less than that, which means of course that trade value, what a dealer would pay you for one of those fresh out the authorized dealer, isn't that far off retail anymore. Yachtmaster 40 with the rhodium dial, this is the more popular dial choice. The retail price on this was £8,500 in 17, and the grey market sat at around 8,000, so again that was below the retail by 5.8%. The retail price today is a £10,350 watch. Grey market only sits slightly above that, guys, at £11,000. Asking price is above the retail and secondary market by a 6.2% or 6.3% premium. Let's have a look at the GMT line then. Now back in 17, I think there was only the GMT Master 2 Batman and the GMT Master with the all black bezel. So of course in today's context only the Batman on an Oyster still exists in the current collection. So let's compare those two. The retail price was £6,550 in 17. Grey market sat slightly above the retail, 6,800, so that is nearly a 4% premium. Today the retail sits at £9,000, and on the grey market on an Oyster bracelet I have seen them as low as £12,000 for a brand new 2022 or 2023 reference, which is above the retail by 33%. So you could suggest that that's another one which still has quite some distance to fall on the secondary market if prices are to fully correct back to the days of pre-hype. Finally, the Sky Dweller with the more sought after blue dial. I think it was actually a brand new launch in 2017, so there was a big premium on the secondary market for this watch because there was much hype for the innovation that we saw in this piece, and we haven't really seen that much innovation since, let's be honest, with Rolex. This was a £10,600 watch at retail. Secondary market value was 12,500, so that was a 17.9% premium. Present day, that is now a £13,150 watch at retail if you're lucky enough to get one, and the grey market sits now at £15,700, which is a premium above the retail of nearly 20%. So that rounds up that analysis there of those top 10 most sought after pieces in the Rolex catalogue, and I think for me, the first reaction I had to this was quite surprising. I did actually believe that most of those watches have already fallen to around about the same percentage difference on the secondary market versus the retail prices they were back in 17. And it surprised me that for many models they still sit quite considerably higher, most notably the steel Daytonas. It would concern me if I was pulling the trigger on a Daytona Panda or black dial Daytona at the moment. I think just looking at that, I think those figures are still quite considerably overhyped. They are about to bring out a new reference. There aren't any yet that have filtered out onto the secondary market. And once that does, that will be the one that everybody wants. And this 116-500 reference will, I'm sure, continue to fall in value. Some of those others, obviously the day date now, that sits around about the retail anyway. I can't see that falling anymore. When I look or ask why are prices still falling, I think it's because there is still a lot going on with liquidity and supply in the market. Now, we've just seen Rolex have made big moves in acquiring Bucherer, which of course means that they now have the majority of control in Europe and in United States over the retail network, which also means that they now have control, or will eventually have control, over distribution and can carry out, I think, more due diligence in ensuring that the watches that they sell brand new go to people that are actually going to place them on their wrists and not straight to the secondary market. Why is this important? It's important because right now there's just too many brand new condition watches floating around on the secondary market. That's bad for the Rolex brand because it means that prices will continue to fall because dealers have a much bigger pool of watches to choose from, but also it means that the power is in the hands still in the short to medium term of the secondary market dealers. Secondary market dealers are bidding low for watches at the moment. I had a Submariner Hulk in my own collection that I wanted to move on only a couple of days ago, and I saw that one dealer was advertising them at £16,500. So I thought, right, well, of course, if they take 16 or maybe even 15.5 as an offer, 14,000 surely would be a fair price, a fair trade price that they would give me for my watch. Absolutely not. Do you know what they offered me, guys? £12,500, which frankly was taking the piss, I thought at the time. Bizarre that they wanted to make a 32% premium in their advertised price of £16,500 and only give me £12,500 for it as a trade price. Dealers are just offering whatever they want. I mean, it's a situation of you take it or you leave it. If you approach a dealer with a watch that you want to sell, there is a growing group of dealers who will really try to rip you off. The power is with those dealers if you guys are accepting those offers that frankly are insults at £12,500 for the Submariner Hulk, but the control is with you. Now, I reference back to one of the very first videos I made on YouTube when all of this correction started to take place, and the question at the time I was getting was, do I hold what I've got in my own collection or do I sell it now? And my advice was just hold it, because if you are selling it, what you're doing is increasing that supply and allowing those unscrupulous dealers to rip you off. And if they rip you off at £12,500, the next guy they're going to try and rip off at £11,500. Shop around, get a general consensus, do your research, as Christopher Ward say, know and understand what is the true trade value, secondary market value of your watch. I think for them to be doing that and offering these prices, they're getting away with it, and really it's up to you to say no. Let me know what you think in the comments below. How low will they go? Are you one of the apocalyptic soothsayers that thinks you'll be able to pick up a Daytona for a £5 in the next couple of years? Go check out beatthewaitlist-watches.com in the meantime, and I'll see you next time.